What is going on, everybody? It is Luke Beller, and now we are only 1 day away from this Packers versus Rams game. It's honestly felt like a lot longer than 2 weeks since we've been able to watch the Packers play. So luckily, our time of waiting is about to be over. And so in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the injuries for both sides, some guys who are out, some guys who are questionable. But first off, right now, 21.7% of you guys who are subscribed have your notifications turned on, which is awesome. And I think it would be even awesomer if we could get that number all the way to 30%. So that way, whenever I make any kind of videos, news, all that kind of stuff, you guys will get a notification sent right to your phone. So that way, you don't miss out on any of the content. So first off, I want to start off with this Green Bay Packers team and sort of break down the injuries for this Packers side of the ball. So this week coming in, we had 7 guys on the injury report, a lot better than back in week 17. We had 14. So obviously having that bye week really allowed this team to get a lot healthier than they were, before the bye week. And so coming into this bye week, the one guy who was sort of, we were wondering, is he going to play or not, is Kingsley Keke, defensive lineman. He's been dealing with that concussion, missed week 17, and unfortunately coming into tomorrow's game, he's going to be doubtful. So it doesn't seem like he is going to be playing. And so because of that, it's likely that Snacks Harrison will potentially, get some more snaps in this game. And back in week 17, when Keke was down, Snacks Harrison had 12 snaps in that game, so maybe we'll see, more of him versus this Rams team. And then besides Kingsley Keke, there were 6 other guys on the injury report this week. They were basically limited at practice throughout most of the week. Besides Mercedes Lewis, he missed 1 practice this week. But all 6 of these guys are going to be good to go for this game versus the Rams. And these guys are Kevin King, Alan Lazard, Mercedes Lewis, Zadarius Smith, Equanimous St. Brown, and Rick Wagner. And then besides all those 7 guys, the one other guy who isn't going to be playing in this game, as most of you guys know, we brought in Jared Veldheer, the tackle who was playing for the Colts in that playoff game. He comes in here, it sort of seems nice that we're going to be getting some depth at the tackle position just in case, someone were to go down with an injury. Unfortunately, as most of you guys already know, he contracted COVID and he's not going to be able to play in this game, so that's sort of unfortunate to see. And at this time, no other Packers player has, been considered like a risk of being too close to him, so that's definitely good to see, and hopefully it stays that way. And so now to the Rams side of the ball. The Rams have been dealing with a lot more injuries than the Packers, partly, with them having that game versus the Seahawks. They got, a lot of injuries in that game. And the biggest topic of discussion for the Rams injuries has been Aaron Donald, who back in that game versus the Seahawks suffered a torn rib cartilage injury. And, throughout the week, we were wondering, is he going to be able to heal up and play through this? Some people were thinking possibly not. We weren't really sure. And now it's come out that he is good to go. He is not even on the injury report coming in, or he has no injury designation coming into Saturday's game. So he's going to be good to go. He said that he's recovered pretty much from this injury and is going to be good to go for this game versus the Packers. And obviously, he's probably one of the biggest players, the most important players for this Rams defense, one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. And that's definitely going to be an exciting matchup to watch, to see if this Packers line can hold up and really defend Aaron Donald and this Rams defense. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but I do think the Packers line is up for it. So now for the QB situation for the Rams, John Wolford is going to be out with that neck injury he suffered last week versus the Seattle Seahawks, and Jared Goff is going to be starting for this Rams team. And of course, Goff broke his thumb back in week 16, ends up getting surgery, has to come in last week versus the Seahawks when Wolford goes down. And he's been struggling a little bit with that injury. It's not 100% yet. But here's some thoughts on what he had to say about it the other day on Thursday. He said, "I think, like I mentioned, it continues to get better," he said Thursday. "I think it feels good. I'm in a good place with it. Over time, just over and over hitting it, there is slight soreness, but nothing that's hindering me in any way. I think overall it's progressing in the right way." So that's pretty much, what he had to say about the injury. And then here's a quote from his coach, McVay, sort of on Goff's status and, whether or not his thumb injury will impact, the play calling and all that kind of stuff. So he says, "I think he's throwing the ball really well this week. I think we will see how the weather is really affecting the conditions overall, but I don't expect it to be a factor. And really, I think probably a more appropriate way of articulating it was, I thought there were some throws that he's typically fairly automatic on that maybe he missed. Now, whether that was a result of the thumb injury or not, he's the one that would probably be able to better answer that. But I do know this. When you watch him throw last week to this week, it is definitely trending in the right direction. That's more in alignment. And really, it looks like the Jared that we're accustomed to, who has been a natural thrower of the football." So it seems that Goff has been progressing with that thumb injury, and he should be good to go versus the Packers team. And one other topic of discussion has been the weather coming into Saturday's game. And it seems right now that it's not going to be too overly over the top cold. It's going to be 30, mid 30s potentially during this game. And so who knows if that is going to affect them. It seems like it maybe won't affect, the Rams as much as people had thought if it would have been, like in the teens. And so now to finish off with these Rams injuries, we have offensive lineman David Edwards and wide receiver Cooper Kupp are going to be questionable coming in to Saturday's game. So who knows if they're going to be starting or not. They're probably, like game time decisions. So those are all the injuries for both the Packers and the Rams. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like it down below. It really helps push the video out to more people. And also, let's see if we can get to that 30% notification number. I believe you can do it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Go Pack, go, baby.